Hey, um, welcome again to another time of lectures on catfish farming. Um, Sometimes I do my videos outside the farm, um, in a place like this, to actually, um, you know, speak more clearer, you know, and try to reach out to listeners in a more official manner. You know, this particular video, I want to do it outside the farm because it's basically on the business aspect of catfish farming and the primary realities in catfish farming. One thing that many people do that tends to affect their business is that they do not see business as business. Understand what I'm saying? They do not see business as business. They see it as something that they want to while away time with, or something that is a side hustle. Yeah, that's what they call it. Or something to do because there's no work. For crying out loud, business is work. That's work. It's just that in this part of the globe, because of our way of thinking based on colonization. When the whites colonized us, they made us believe that desk work is the only thing that should be called work. Desk work, I mean, like being employed to work for someone, or or work in the civil service, or in one of the oil companies or oil servicing companies or something like that. But that's a wrong way of thinking, because business is work. That is your work. That's why you are referred to as self-employed. Catfish business is business, and then must be followed in a business fashion. There must be dedication, there must be commitment, there must be passion, there must be accountability, there must be responsibility. You must also give in to the business. In other words, the business controls how you sleep, where you go to, decisions and actions that you take, so on and so forth. That is, the business takes the whole of your life. That is what work is. Now, many people think that catfish business is just about getting a tank, filling it with water, and throwing fish in it, and then feed the fish. It is not so. No business works like that. First of all, you must understand your business. Now, many people call me who are into catfish business, and the kind of questions they ask is amazing. It's amazing, because I wonder, like, don't they understand what they're into? Take for instance, there is no business you go into without having the basic infrastructure and facilities on ground. You must have them, even though they are small, but they must be there. Considering the part of the globe that we are in, we don't have constant power. You can't go into business without having a generating set, something that generates electric, current, generates power. For catfish business, you can't go into catfish business without sinking a borehole. It's impossible. It doesn't work. That's number one. You can't go into catfish business and you don't have enough tanks to spread out your fishes. No, you can't. You can't go into catfish business and you don't have the money to buy feed. Unfortunately, many people go into catfish business hoping that they will get money. That is not how it is done. Start small, but let even the small money that you need to run the business, buying feed and all that, is in place. The infrastructure is in place. The facilities to run the business is in place. Even though it is small, let it be in place. You can't go into catfish business without having an effective drainage system, a gutter that is flowing, especially if you want to do your business in a neighborhood. Your neighbors will kill you if your water is not flowing properly through a good enough drainage system, a good enough gutter. Because the wastewater of catfish stinks. It brings mosquitoes and so on and so forth. So if it is stagnant, even you cannot stand it after a while. I hear people call, I get people calling me, say they want to sink a well. I said, don't even start it, because it might work for a while, but after, it will not work. Some people call me and say they want to do the business, and then they want to be draining the water out into their compound because they have a big compound. I said, for how long will you be draining water into your compound? Yes, you can have about one tank with about 100 fishes there and drain it into your compound. It will bother you, but it will not bother you much. But that means that you can never grow above 100 fishes and one tank. Because if you grow above 100 fishes and one tank, say maybe 500 fishes, you need more tanks, and then you will have more volume of water to expel, to discharge. Will you discharge all that in your compound? Now, for the well thing, people dig wells and then they drain water into the wells, and then after a while it doesn't work anymore, and then they begin to encounter a lot of trouble. What of proper education? Like something like this that I'm giving on YouTube constantly. Some people call me and say, I have watched almost all your YouTube information on catfish business. And I said, that is beautiful, because you need enough information before you go into your business. You have people going into catfish business like they do in other businesses, and they have no knowledge of the basics at all. Now, it is quite unfortunate. I think this is because we live in an area where predominantly people believe in, they believe in religion and superstition. It's either juju or church. So the realities of life, they don't want to embrace it. They are going to pray and it's going to be good in the business, or they are going to do one juju or that and it's going to be good in the business. Don't you see that is why Africa is lagging behind? Because the practical realities of life, we don't want to know it. You see, so catfish business, like every other business, you must have to know what to do before you venture into it, and continue to know what to do as you go on in it. Some people call me and say, I've managed to get my fishes to table size and I want to sell them, but I don't know how to sell them. This is incredible. I mean, before I started my catfish business, I went to markets seeking for these women who sell catfish, studying about the outlets, how to sell out my catfish, who will buy my catfish, who and how I will release it out after I finish. You must have to know this. At least if you don't know this, listen to videos like this, listen to lectures like this that talks about your business. Read books that talk about catfish business. And it's going to be great when you know what you are doing. It is not difficult to find out the basics of what you need in your business, but it is difficult to manage failure. Okay, so you need to know these things on a constant basis, I still learn. I still find out things to do, even though I am dishing out information gathered from a lot of years of experience in catfish business. My informations and lectures on catfish business are very ordinary. Reason is because I try as much as possible to make it ordinary so that people can grasp it. And I also try to create this impression to my listeners that there is nothing difficult in catfish business like in any other business, as long as you know what to do. It's like mathematics. They say it is difficult, but if you have the formula, it's as cheap as anything. So rather than pray or invoke some gods or whatever, find out what you need to know. You also need to measure how much time you can give to your catfish business, like in any other business. You can't invest 500,000 naira and then hand it over to somebody. That is gross carelessness, irresponsibility. Even if you invest 100,000 naira in your catfish business or in any other business, you don't hand it over to somebody, especially that person being a typical novice. And coupled with the fact that work mentality in this country is zero. So you are giving it to somebody who is careless, irresponsible, and has no single or perfect knowledge of your business. You have just killed your business before it takes off. So, we need to be serious in what we are doing. Okay? Some people come for internship in my farm. I praise those people. Some people call me all the while and say, I want to know this, I want to know this. I praise those people. Some people ask me questions. Sometimes the questions are ridiculous, but I praise them because, if you don't ask, how will you know? So that is what it is. And you know that my informations and my lectures are based on minimizing production cost so that you can maximize profit. And that is why in my farm or in my lectures, I try to be very ordinary, because I do my farming in a very ordinary way in order for me to minimize production cost so that I can, in many ways maximize my profit in order for me to stay afloat or stay in the business over and over. Well, this is much as I can take for this business aspect of catfish farming for today. Expect more of this, and then I'll be doing it indoors like this, because this is really business and official aspect of catfish farming. Please try as much as possible to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It will help you get informations like this immediately I drop them. My name is Mr. Greg.